It was a normal Tuesday when Andy, a boy with a tender heart, noticed his white guinea pig Snowball seemed listless and lonely. He convinced his mother, Fran, that Snowball needed a friend. They drove to the pet store and picked out a beautiful long-haired brown and white hamster named Oreo. Excitedly, Andy placed Oreo into Snowball's cage. The two small animals sniffed each other briefly and then settled into separate corners. That night, the quiet of the house was shattered by a terrified, piercing squealing followed by a distinct, wet, crunching sound. Andy bolted upright in bed and rushed to the cage. He stared in absolute horror. Oreo was lying still, his lower half a sickening crimson-soaked mess. His tiny legs were gone. Snowball was hunched over the remains, his face and paws drenched in glistening warm blood. As the guinea pig lifted his head, Andy saw that Snowball's small dark eyes were now glowing an impossible, malevolent scarlet. Andy's scream brought Fran running into the room. Her eyes went straight to the carnage. "Andy, what did you do?" she gasped, instantly assuming her son was somehow responsible. But then she saw Snowball. His small body seemed to have swelled, and the stark white of his fur was horrifically stained. "Oh my God, Snowball," she whispered, stumbling back. The guinea pig released a low guttural growl, not a pet sound but the sound of a predator. He slammed against the cage bars, his jaws snapping, his furious snarling filling the room. "He changed," Andy cried, clutching his mother. "After he tasted the blood, he was never the same." Fran, fighting back nausea, carefully used a disposable cloth to remove Oreo's tiny, lifeless body from the cage. The trauma of the attack was visible, but they had to focus on the living threat. From that moment on, Snowball was a monster. His red demonic eyes never dimmed. He would snarl and get nasty any time they approached, and he could not be handled or tamed. The terrifying creature required Fran to use thick leather gloves just to shove food into the cage. "We can't keep him like this, Andy. He's dangerous," Fran said, her voice heavy with sorrow and dread. The dreadful vigil continued for several days. Then one quiet morning, the persistent snarling stopped. Andy and Fran approached the cage hesitantly. Snowball lay still, a small lifeless lump of white fur, having returned to his normal size in death. The terrifying glow was gone from his eyes. Andy mourned the loss of the gentle pet he remembered, but they were both relieved the terror was over. They buried Snowball in the garden, and the dark cloud that had settled over their house slowly began to lift.